Good morning, everyone. It's lovely to be here in Parramatta this morning. Can I acknowledge our Minister for Energy, lots of energy, Chris Bowen. Thank you very much for coming and being with us this morning, and to all my other friends from Parliament and also local councils in this area. It's terrific to see you. But I particularly want to acknowledge, of course, the National President of VHP, Mr Ramamurthy, and all his hard work and dedication, and my good friend Akila G, who has worked so hard over all the years that I've known her. She's got boundless energy, great enthusiasm, and always does everything with beautiful sense of humour. And we love working with you, Akila. And can I welcome those of you here today who are not from Sydney? I understand there are people here from South Australia and Queensland and Victoria. I hope you're having a lovely weekend here in Parramatta. It's a good spot. It is a good spot, I'll acknowledge that. It's not the greatest city, but it's a good spot. Can I also acknowledge, of course, the tireless work of VHP, and I know that you work very hard to promote and preserve Hindu cultural heritage and pass it on to your children, and in doing so foster some important principles about social cohesion, and of course we've heard from the Minister this morning about how important that has been over the last week. But can I also acknowledge the particular work that I've seen Akila do over the years in my local area with children and young people, because I think particularly as women, we have a really strong sense of responsibility to our children, and we want to see them flourish. And I know that Akila and VHP have done great work with language, so Sanskrit. I've seen many children able to talk wonderfully in Sanskrit. I've been welcomed at a conference in Sanskrit, which is terrific. And of course, Akila and all the teachers that train to teach Hinduism and scripture in the local public schools, about 80, I think, New South Wales public schools, extraordinary. All the youth camps that are conducted, the Veda classes, the young leaders workshops, and also the inspiring work that VHP do with children and youth with special needs. So that Hindu Social Services Foundation, if any of you get to go to a concert put on by those children, I urge you to go. It's such a joy. It's wonderful to see that work. And of course, our young people in the Hindu community are your vanguard. They've got a really hard job. They are bringing that ancient culture and thinking into a very modern, laid-back Australian cultural community, and to translate Hinduism into day-to-day Australian life is not an easy task. And I think they are so committed and work very hard in that area with the guidance of people like VHP. So that's a really important job, looking after our young people. And of course, the Hindu community we've heard today is one of the fastest growing communities in Australia. 640,002, did you say, Sushanthi? 184,002? I don't know whether, but that's pretty precise. That's good. And of course, a major proportion of those numbers being very young people. That's what I see in Wentworthville. So where I live in the suburb of Wentworthville, can I tell you, the census in 2021 told us that 47% of the Wentworthville suburb profess Hinduism as their religion. 47%. They're my friends and neighbours. And you're right about language too. It's not just about Hindi. We know that in the Wentworthville Library. So we stock books in Telugu, the Gujarati, Hindi, Tamil. We acknowledge that the Hindu community of our area is very multicultural and multilingual. And we love having Diwali. We've done that for 3 years in a row now. It's been really successful, the street festival, closing Station Street, putting up a big stage, and really enjoying learning more about that heritage, that understanding of Diwali. It's terrific. And of course, all the politicians that you've named this morning have one thing in common. Councillor Saha, former Deputy Mayor, and also former Mayor of Parramatta, Councillor Samir Pandey, and the Treasurer, who comes from Merrylands. They all come from the Cumberland local government area. I'm claiming that. They do, and I'm really proud of that, and I know that Cumberland works really hard in its very multicultural community to embrace diversity and share culture, and the more that we do that, the more we understand each other and what makes us tick, the more we get on as a community and share each other and look after each other. And I think that's what VHP does. It wants to create a sense of unity within the diversity of the communities in our area. So Shanti talked about the first Hindu temple, Sri Manda Temple. Well, that's a Cumberland temple. I have a friend there, Pandit Jatin Kumar Bhatt from that temple, comes to our citizenship ceremonies every month and sits with our local MPs and myself, and usually with somebody from the Holroyd Christian Fellowship and a person, usually a sheikh from one of our Muslim organisations, and together we welcome all the new citizens. Together we join hands and say, we are one, we all are great friends, we want you to embrace each other and be good friends too. And that's the legacy from that temple. And the Pandit stands there at our citizenship ceremony and he says to everyone, it doesn't matter what your religion is, or if you have no religion at all, it doesn't matter. Please come to our temple. We welcome you. Our door is always open. And yes, there's a friend from that temple. I know that lady. Hello. It's lovely to see you here. So I'm really excited about this conference. I think it's really quite an interesting topic. I know, and I'm really pleased that you've recognised in yourselves just how qualified you are. You are all professional. Half of you are doctors, I know that. Engineers, IT, medicine, you guys cover the field. And politics too. Local council, don't ignore the work that gets done at the grassroots, because that really delivers change every day. Councillor Saha can tell you that. To come together today and recognise that you have skills, that you have a great deal to offer, and to look at Australia and say, how can we contribute to Australian society and make it a better place to live. That's a wonderful theme of service, and I think that's what you're doing today. Can I commend you for that? Have a wonderful conference. Enjoy the day, and those who are visiting, enjoy the rest of Sydney. Thank you.
Thank you so much. 15 years friendship, yeah.